Hello and welcome again. Here comes the third article of this sequence of electric dipoles, in which we are trying to find out the electric field at any arbitrary point. This point may or may not be on the axial or equatorial line at any other point. So here is the situation which I am representing with the diagram. We have an electric dipole AB of charges Q, both the charges are same, and length we can take as 2L, as we are taking conventionally, right? So here it is the point P where we are willing to find out the electric field due to this electric dipole AB, right? This point P is neither lying on the axial line nor on the equatorial line of the electric dipole. So how do we find the electric field? Here in this case, okay, so here it is the given electric dipole, actual electric dipole. So because in earlier case we have discussed that on axial line as well as on the equatorial line, the electric field is represented in terms of the electric dipole moment of the dipole and not the charge. So that is the advantage of using the concept of electric dipole moment. Okay, so the electric dipole moment of this electric dipole, it is represented from negative to positive charge conventionally. So I am representing it here. It is directed from negative to positive charge. So in order to derive the expression for the or finding the electric field at point P due to this dipole, I am resolving this electric dipole into two components which are mutually perpendicular. Out of these two components, one is along the line joining the point P from the dipole, and other one in a perpendicular direction. So I have just represented it just like that. This dipole is a resultant of these two dipoles. First dipole is the one with for which the point P is on its axial line. For the second dipole, which is perpendicular one, the point P lies on its equatorial line. So in other way, I can say that this dipole moment of the given dipole is resolved into two mutually perpendicular components, one along the line towards point P and one in a perpendicular direction. So for one which is along this line, I am representing it as P cos theta. If this angle is theta, so that means the component of this dipole moment along this line, it will be P cos theta, and the other component it will become P sin theta. Together they will give resultant P, right? Okay, now for this dipole, so for this dipole, or we can say for this dipole moment, the point P is on its axial line. If point P is on the axial line of any dipole or electric dipole moment, then its electric field can be written as this way. I am writing the electric field as this, E1. I am giving it name E1. So I have just written the expression as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p cos theta upon r cube. I am taking the case of a short electric dipole. And similarly, for the second we can say component of the dipole, which is P sin theta, the point P is on its equatorial line. Point P is on equatorial line of the second component of this dipole, which is P sin theta. So the electric field in this case, as we have discussed, it is opposite to the dipole moment. So if this is the dipole moment, P sin theta, then the electric field due to this, it will be opposite to the dipole moment, which I am writing as E2, and I am taking the same formula as in our previous expression. So I am writing E1 as this expression and E2 as this. So here in case of E1, the electric dipole moment, it is P cos theta, and in case of other case, the dipole moment is P sin theta, right? So the net electric field at point P, it will now be resultant of these two mutually perpendicular electric fields, which we can find by the method of vector addition by either parallelogram or by triangle law of vector addition. So here we make use of parallelogram law of vector addition, which says that the net electric field, it will be E1 square plus E2 square plus 2E1 E2 cos theta, but that component will die out as the angle between these two components, it is 90 degree. So cos 90 reduces to 0. So only term we are left with this one. Okay. So if we substitute the values of E1, E2 here, what we get? So E1 square. So it is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p cos theta upon r cube square plus E2 square, which is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into p sin theta upon r cube square under root. So after doing some calculation, it reduces to some terms we are taking outside, and whatever left inside we have calculated it to be 3 cos square theta plus 1, because one of the cos square theta is taken with the sin square theta, which is an identity. Cos square theta plus sin square theta 1. So 3 cos square theta plus 1 under root. So this is the net electric field we are left with. So this is the importance of defining the term electric dipole moment whenever we derive the expression for the electric field due to an electric dipole, because in that case we need not to know about the charge or we can say the length of the dipole. In the next article we will take what happens to the electric dipole whenever it is placed in some electric field. That's all. Thank you.